Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Far From Pro podcast. Today is a very special episode. We have professional basketball player, D1 basketball player, and Centennial High School legend, Tyler Peterson. Now, Tyler, gave you about as big of an intro as there is right there. Tell the people who you are and what you're up to.
Well, what's up? Thanks for having me on. My name is Tyler Peterson. Went to Centennial High School, graduated in 2016, played 4 years at the University of South Dakota, and now currently in Durrës, Albania, playing basketball out here. So, yeah.
That is unbelievable. Now tell me, Tyler, what's it like in Albania? Give me a rundown. How different is it from America? We got to know.
I was honestly scared to come here. I'm not gonna lie, but no, it's super nice. I'm on the beach. It's like a nice, like walkable city. So it's the food's good. Like the people are nice. It's definitely different though. There's no question about that. A lot of different, just like custom stuff like that. But other than that, it's been a lot more enjoyable than I anticipated.
What's that transition like from American D1 to playing overseas? Like, is it everything you expected or tougher, easier?
It's just like different. I don't know. That's like a lot of people try to explain like the difference in style of basketball, which there definitely is some, and like philosophies too. Like, you know, my coach is Albanian and they see the game a different way. So kind of like that. But, yeah, it's a different level of like athleticism too, but it's like you're also playing against like grown like men who, you know, like every team has like 30-year-olds too. So it's like, they're grown men who have families, who have kids, and it's a different game over here.
So I don't know if you saw. I saw Luka Doncic went on a podcast and said that it's way harder to score 30 points in a European basketball game than it is in the NBA. He says it's because the courts are smaller. There's no like 3-second rule for the defense. Is that true? There's no 3-second rule.
Yep, yeah, that's true.
Wow.
And a lot of these teams will have a big who they'll just plant them underneath the basket. And so if you're going in to finish, like you're going into a crowd for sure. So that's a lot of adjustment. You know, normally like in the U.S., how we've kind of transitioned to the positionless and a lot of fives will pick and pop and all this stuff. And over here, you kind of just plop a huge guy in the paint and try to just disrupt stuff as much as you can.
That is complete bullshit. Wow. I didn't know that was a rule until he said that. That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's different.
There are a lot of big Albanian guys out there.
There's a couple that are ginormous dudes who play for the national team and stuff. So like we got a match this Sunday against the Capital team in Tirana, and they got a guy who's probably 6'10". He's got to be all of 280.
So you just throw him in there.
Wow.
You just throw him in the paint.
Just put him by the basket, and just try to be a big body, disrupt some stuff.
How ridiculous is that? I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's different, man. It's different for sure.
Oh, my Lord. I mean, so I got to ask, in high school, you played for Howard Pulley Panthers in your AAU career. I hate to be all controversial and kind of get you and put you in a bad spot, but who was your favorite teammate that you played with for AAU throughout high school?
Wow. Good question.
Wow. That's a great.
Because you played with some big players here, Tyler. You had some big names on your teams. All right, big names.
Yeah, we had a lot of successful guys. We got a couple guys in the NBA. We got Theo John we get to watch in the Sweet 16 against another former teammate of mine from USD. That'd be good. But the one I talked to the most is probably Brad Davison.
Oh, okay.
So whatever, it was kind of cool to see him wrap up his career at Wisconsin and whatever, getting a piece of the Big Ten championship and whatever, ending up in the tournament. And so that was cool, and that's someone who I still talk to occasionally. So
that's funny you say that, because one of my favorite memories of watching you play is beating him your junior year. No, it was his junior year, I believe. He came his junior year. It was that game where it was for someone on your team had gotten cancer. If you remember that, that was an electric game. The atmosphere.
Logan. My. That's like probably my favorite high school basketball game for sure. Was the Purple Out game? Yeah, that was sick.
Awesome.
So what's like the demographic of your team? Like, are they mostly like European guys, or are there people from overseas too?
This league is unique in that there's no limit for imports. So like our team right now, we have 5 Americans,
Oh,
which is a little unusual. And then some other teams, like it's kind of a shifting number with how many guys they bring in and whatever, either send them home or they're going off to different places and stuff like that. So say most team or some teams have 3, 2. There's 2 Albanian teams that have no, 1 Albanian team that has none. So like yeah, we start 3 Americans, start 2 Albanians, and then the roster just kind of fills out from there.
Is there a language barrier there at all, or just kind of
Surprisingly not.
basketball?
All the guys on our team
Yeah.
at least speak English. Coach speaks English, so
Okay.
that's been super big time. Yeah.
I mean, I can't even
Yeah, same.
imagine making that jump. I mean, making that jump from, like you said, because when I first heard you playing Albania, and I was like, first I didn't even know Albania had a basketball league, and then I was like, that's a little like that's far. I mean, you're going from South Dakota to Albania. I mean, that's like a completely different landscape, completely different change. So outside of basketball, when you're in Albania, what are you doing? What are you doing with your free time? What's there to do there?
I'm an avid coffee drinker,
Okay.
so we're spending quite a bit of time at cafes. But other than that, man, it's just like it's a pretty slow pace, place. That, there's not just like entertainment, I guess, all over this place. So I'm taking walks to the beach, hanging out at cafes, like grabbing dinner, whether that's with teammates or my girlfriend was out here living with me for a while. The red wine's good out here,
Yeah, it
so
is.
no complaints with that. And been able to kind of just kick it in the free time, watch Netflix, like just the usual stuff.
Sounds
It
like
does
the
sound
life,
like a
man.
life.
Yeah, ain't too bad.
Getting paid to play basketball. Isn't that the dream, Tyler? Isn't that the dream?
It wasn't when I was a kid. Like it was just like never something that I thought
Really?
of, and then kind of just like progressing throughout the career, just like kind of just how to take that next step, how to do a little more, and ended up here, and just trying to put myself in a good position for next year to make more money and be in a better league, and just kind of just continue to grow through that.
That's awesome. What's the workload like? How do you guys practice every day, twice a week?
Yeah,
How
so I
does
don't.
that work for you?
This is the most practice that I've heard of from anyone that I know who plays overseas. But we're pretty avid twice a day. So whatever we got the morning practice at 10.
2 days.
Yep, and it's either we're lifting or we're getting shots up, going through our offense, and then at night we'll go for 2 hours with everyone and more like live play and stuff like that, working on more defense stuff. So they keep us busy
cool.
for sure.
So you said that growing up, your goal wasn't played at pro basketball. Well, what was your goal to play up? Like, what did you grow up to dream of? Like, what did you want to be?
Just play Division I basketball. That was just
That was it.
That was the goal for sure. Yeah. Didn't watch like a ton of NBA basketball really, unless it was like LeBron or KG at the time. But yeah, it was like watching Duke, watching Minnesota, stuff like that, and just like that was the dream. That was the only goal really.
Wow.
So then how did you get in contact with people overseas? Was that something that they just came to you and you weren't expecting, or?
That was an interesting kind of how that happened. Whatever. So like playing at South Dakota and kind of as that's going on, we had the best 3-point shooter in the nation was on our team, a 6'10" big man shooting like 54% from 3. So he's having a ton of agents like hit him up. Point guard of mine having a ton of agents hit him up, and I'm averaging like 11 in my senior year, so it's like nothing to write home about, but it's okay. And so like not really getting the same notoriety and stuff like that from agents and stuff like that. So it's a little bit more of me reaching out to people and trying to find someone to represent me. And whatever, for the people who know or whatever, I came out of college, signed with an agent, had some stuff like in the works, had some interest from some teams and some leagues. COVID's kind of hitting, budgets are getting lower. And it's like kind of like we're going to go with the more experienced guy. Heard that too many times. Then we get to like March, and the plan was to go to Australia, play in their second league. They closed the border for COVID, so couldn't go there. End up switching representation, going a different direction, and got in contact with a guy who ended up coming across this Albanian deal, and debated for like a second, and I was just like, I just need to play. Like if I'm gonna do it or not, I'm not gonna sit out again. So took it, and yeah, it's been interesting so far for sure.
Well, you know what?
How does that season work over?
I was
in
actually
Albania?
just gonna ask that.
How does the season work? Or like
Yeah. Like playoffs? How many
Yep.
games?
Yeah. So right now, we play in two different leagues. So we play in the Albanian like National League, and then we play in this. It's called Liga Unica, where it's Albania and Kosovo, where we play top teams, top four in Albania, top four Kosovo. But we just wrapped that up. We start our first playoff game next week. It's 3-game series, I believe, with us in the 4 seed. If we take that, if we win that, we go to the final 4 for that. And I believe that's just like a bracket or maybe some series. Not really sure. But then the Albanian League, those playoffs will be beginning of May, and we're the 1 seed right now. And that's what it's a 3-game series and a 5-game series, and then we're back to the U.S.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, what are you gonna? So when you come home, you're going to the U.S., and then what's the plan? What are you just working out, training? Where are you? What are you doing?
Yeah, lining up stuff on, trying to work a little bit. Whether that's I'm gonna be doing the Centennial skills stuff again with the varsity team and doing some of my own basketball skills stuff. But then it's just kind of working out, lifting, helping out with the Minnesota Comets again, coaching their top 16U team as an assistant. And then I don't know, try to spend a lot of time with the family. Like it's been a big change. Never being over here for 9 months, which it's gonna be in total, I think. And yeah, just spend time with the family before I gotta head out again in probably August or early September.
So do people in Albania, do they watch, like, what's the basketball market there? Like, are people interested in NBA at all, or is it just kind of like whatever the local team is if you're interested in basketball?
There's some NBA interest. I don't think it's huge. Like, we're 7 hours ahead, so I feel like people aren't really catching a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's you see like highlights on the news. If, like the Lakers are playing the Nets or the Bucks are playing someone. But other than that, it's like people are super prideful, like on their city's team. Like the people of Duras will like really show up and get into it. Like same with Tirana, like they'll pack their gym for, we won a cup earlier in the year, and it's a sold out gym, and it's it's loud, and people are passionate about their city's basketball team.
That's awesome.
Sweet, playing in front of a passionate crowd. But so you had a lot of coaches throughout your career at high school, South Dakota, whatever. Is there a specific coach that speaks out to you that really like made you love basketball more and you loved to play for? Like, was there like not necessarily a favorite coach, but a coach that really stuck out to you that you liked a lot?
The coach that recruited me to South Dakota, Gamali Alegba, like favorite person I've ever met. Recruited me to South Dakota. Stayed through that coaching change. He's actually an assistant coach now at St. Thomas, but that's someone I talk to, for sure weekly, and have a relationship with his family, and still talk to all of them. And he's the person who would be in the gym with me while I was in college, missing time with his family, in order to put in time with me and help me, grow my game. And so that's someone that, I'm forever grateful to have met and to have, been able to spend 4 years with, and just thankful that he stayed with, South Dakota through that coaching change. So yeah, that's for sure the first person that comes to mind when I think of a coach that's, made the biggest impact on me, other than my dad, I guess, coaching.
Can't forget that.
Centennial traveling basketball from, 3rd grade to 7th
Can't
grade.
forget Pops.
Yep.
What do you ever have, like, people that ask you, like, oh, how do you get into this business, or like, what should I do? Like, what do you tell people that would say, I want to do what you're doing, I want to go D1, I want to play somewhere around the world? What would you say to them?
Like young kids, or like people like in college asking about getting in Europe?
I mean, you can talk to either, or just give advice to what they would say. But
okay, like the young kid stuff, when I get back in the summer and I meet some kids or see some kids working out or doing whatever, and they're kind of just asking about the recruiting process, or I feel like playing overseas has been more talked about recently than like when I was in high school. Like no one would just be like, oh, I can't wait to go play in Europe. Like that just wasn't really a thing. But I don't know, like looking back at how I kind of navigated the path of I'm 6'4", like I'm not huge and I'm not like crazy athletic, and you just like you have to be obsessed with it. Like that's kind of in hindsight like what my thoughts on basketball were in high school while I was at Centennial. It was just like obsession, like whether that's like getting into the YMCA and like fighting with the Zumba classes about gym schedule, or like breaking into Centennial High School and propping doors and getting in, TAing for gym classes so I could shoot extra like you got to just put in the time. I think that's like by far the biggest thing, and just stay consistent. Just keep showing up if that's something that you really care about and want to do. That's I just think the number one thing that young guys can do. And once you get to that level, if you're going to go play in college, like that's fantastic. You're going to get some school paid for, like that's amazing. And then after that, if playing professional basketball is something that you want to pursue in Europe, there's all types of levels of it. But that's something that those doors will kind of open as you get closer to that, and definitely something you don't need to be worried about early on. But there's definitely people to reach out to, and your coaches and like other players who have been to your college program will be able to navigate that for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Probably the only time basketball is when you say 6'4", not huge.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
I guess
I'm like
playing against giant Albanian dudes.
Yeah.
Well, Tyler, we don't want to keep you here too long, but I want to ask you one more question before you go. We're both Centennial boys. We just graduated last year. About 99% of the demographic who's watching this so far is probably going to be Centennial people. How much has Centennial meant to you, and how much does it mean to you right now?
Centennial means a lot, for my basketball growth and development. Getting a lot of exposure, I think, from playing at a young age at Centennial, and being able to help this past summer, that's meant a lot. And I think even communicating with Spencer and trying to organize things for Centennial and how to grow it, the best way, making sure kids are having fun. Like you want kids to show up and you want those numbers, and then how do we get better? There's no reason that we can't be beating the Blaines, the Andovers, the Spring Lake Parks, Park Centers, Ossios. Like there's no reason we're not competing with those guys. So I think in the position I am now of playing through college and playing professionally now, I think it's more so transitioning into like how much can I help give back and try to help the people who want to become better at basketball, whether that's just for their senior season or the next person who had my mindset, the next like up and coming like Tyler Peterson, the kid who's obsessed with basketball and wants to learn as much as he can, like learn film, like how do you work on these certain things. I think that's important to have those conversations with those kids and just try to help in any way I can, because the conversations I had with the seniors when I was a freshman, the Dan Beckens, Luke Thornquist, Christian Malinowski's, that stuff meant a lot to me. And anything that I can do, to give that similar guidance, I guess, definitely willing to do that.
Well, Tyler, this has been a great interview. We appreciate you more than ever coming on.
Awesome.
It's been amazing to get to know about the game.
First professional athlete on the pod.
First athlete. Spencer is not an athlete. Let's confirm that. We will confirm that right now. He is not an athlete. He is a coach. You are the first athlete, and we appreciate you. You are going to be the first of many. You started this wave. You started the athletes coming on, and I appreciate you taking your time to do this.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man.
Have a good one, Tyler.
Thank you so much.
You guys have a good one.
Wow. What a great interview.
That was awesome.
That was amazing. Thank you very much, Tyler, again for coming on. But, however, we have a lot to get into today.
A ton more to get into.
A lot. So we just need to jump right into it. We're straight into hot or not, everyone's favorite. And, Joseph, how about you start us off?
I will start us off. Now, my hot is it comes at a great time because my hot this week, my first hot, is spring break, okay? And this might be a hot take. But if you can count spring break as a holiday, I think it's a top 2 holiday. Comes at the perfect time. You're in that season of like, it's February, March, it's cold, especially when you live in a cold place. Comes at the perfect time. You can either go somewhere tropical or you can, stay home, just get a week off. And then you get back and the weather's getting nicer. You're starting to feel the spring in the air, the summer in the air. But most of all, especially this week, we had March Madness, and that was awesome because spring break, March Madness, St. Patrick's Day, got to sit on the couch, drink a Shamrock Shake while watching Iowa basketball lose. It was a great time. But, that's my hot for the week, spring break, great time. We're heading into summer, spring here. Let's go.
That's a great pick, Joseph. And for my hot, I'm going to go with the breakfast bagel. The breakfast bagel, when you talk about a great way to start your day, there is no other option than the breakfast bagel. Now, there are multiple. What's with the laugh? No, Joseph.
That's just I agree.
The
man.
breakfast bagel You can get the everything bagel. You can get the cream cheese bagel. I mean, whatever you need.
Yeah.
You can get your sausage and egg bagel. The breakfast bagel is special, and I believe it deserves to be a hot. I had it a couple times for breakfast. Real special work. Real good for the esophagus. Okay?
You're a big food guy. You had some good food over the last week, didn't you?
I was out of control. Out of control.
Love the food. My second hot for the week is a man by the name of Doug. Doug Edert, I believe how you pronounce it. His name is now synonymous with Doug because if you are unaware, he is the star of, or one of the stars of the St. Peter's basketball team who beat Kentucky in a great win, then beat Murray State, and as of recording this pod, is still alive in March Madness. They play today against Purdue. We'll talk about that game in a little bit. But Doug had a great week for himself. He signed with Barstool and got his own merch, which says Dougie Buckets, which is awesome. I think I'm going to get a hoodie.
Okay.
And he also signed a deal with Buffalo Wild Wings.
I did see that.
Talk about a career-changing week for this man.
That's a 7.5
where he goes
wing,
from
It's a 7.5 win.
where he goes from nobody knows who this man is. I didn't know who Doug was.
neither.
All of a sudden, everyone knows who Doug is. Everyone wants his merch. Everyone wants a picture with him. And he is the only white man on that team, and it's giving me, you know the meme, it's like we're rocking with Mark because Mark's rocking with us.
Yeah. That's how you
It gives me that vibe.
Yep, me too.
He's got a beautiful mustache. I heard some ladies saying they didn't like it. I love the stash.
That's criminal.
It's a great stash, and Doug is my second hot for the week.
That's a great pick, Joseph. I don't have another hot, but I have a not for you. Brackets are a not this week, and I'm going to tell you why. Not
specifically anyone's bracket or yours?
Not mine. Anyone's bracket. Okay. Hear me out. I have no problem. Here's the deal. Everyone in the world makes a bracket. Okay.
Right.
I'm not talking about getting bracket busted. I'm talking about just simply like your brackets in general. I don't care if you made a March Madness bracket. I don't care how good it's doing. I don't care if you think it's perfect. I don't care. Everyone says the same thing. They make the bracket, and it's the same sentence that comes out of their mouth. Oh, 100%. This is a lock. This is a lock. It's like everyone makes a bracket, and then everyone talks about how they're in these tournaments, and then everyone wants to fill each other. It's like, no, we get it. You made a bracket. Everyone's made 15 brackets. Everyone's bracket's busted. Everyone's bracket sucks. Okay, we understand. We don't need to fill each other in. We don't need to tell each other the secrets. No. At the end of the day, it's all bull crap. They just play each other. It's games. Whoever wins wins. That's how it goes. You don't have an inside tip. You don't know You don't know something. Know what somebody doesn't know. It's literally just this team won. So that's my not, and I'm just gonna leave that there.
So if your bracket was almost perfect, you wouldn't tell everyone. You would keep quiet about it.
Well, that's a different story. We're not talking about that right now. We're just talking about.
So the problem is when you have a sports podcast and you're at the bottom of your friend group's bracket poll, it's just not a great look,
terrible.
and that's where I'm right now. It's just
part.
it's tough, and Gonzaga sold me, and Tennessee sold me, but it's been a tough week. Now, if I had a perfect bracket, it was perfect for one game.
Right.
I mean.
Everyone's perfect. Everyone's pretty much perfect for one game, to be honest with you.
There you go. I have a not for the week. The Cleveland Browns.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, and I told you I wanted to do a little bit of a rant
go
here.
for it.
Now, I want to get your thoughts. Now, they traded for Deshaun Watson. I like the trade. The trade is good, football wise. However, they did my man Baker Mayfield so dirty, and here's why. After it came out that they wanted Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield says, obviously you don't want me here. I'm going to ask for a trade. I've given everything I can to the city of Cleveland. Want a trade, right? Mm-hmm. They decline his trade request. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, well, you're going to keep him. You didn't get Deshaun Watson. You're going to keep Baker Mayfield. Makes sense. They were still in the running for Deshaun Watson. They still went out and got Deshaun Watson. They made Baker Mayfield look like a fool because they were like, oh, no, we're not going to accept your trade. We want you still. And then all of a sudden they all of a sudden have Deshaun Watson. I do not understand the Baker Mayfield slander. We forget. They have been good the last couple years. We forget that the Browns are a terrible franchise. We're acting like all of a sudden this Browns team is some like, oh, the Browns franchise is great. just because Baker Mayfield, they aren't making the playoffs. Baker Mayfield is arguably the best quarterback in Browns history in the Super Bowl era. There's a few good quarterbacks before the Super Bowl era. Arguably the best quarterback in Browns history. First of all, that's saying something if Baker Mayfield is your best quarterback of all time. Second of all, you're going to treat him like that. He has been the first quarterback with stability. We act, the Browns are better now. They have some good players. They have a good coach. They have some good pieces. Why do you think? Because you didn't have to draft a quarterback all last 4 years. Dude's had 4 coaches in 4 years. Now you're going to go out and get Deshaun Watson, who, yes, is a better football player. But if your questions are about Baker Mayfield's character, you're telling me Deshaun Watson doesn't have character issues? You're telling me Deshaun Watson's devoted? He sat out a year and then had character issues? How many playoff wins do you think Deshaun Watson has?
1.
In his 5 years in the league? 1. You know how many Baker Mayfield has? 1. Let's stop pretending like the Texans were some horrible franchise and the Browns are some great franchise and Deshaun Watson got screwed and Baker Mayfield sucks. Yes, Deshaun Watson's a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield, but Baker Mayfield deserved to ask for a trade after he did dirty by the franchise. I am rooting against the Browns this year. I've been rooting for them the last couple of years. I will be rooting against the Browns this year. Rant done. Also, Watson had DeAndre Hopkins. Let's not pretend like he didn't have a great weapon. Oh, Baker Mayfield had OBJ. He didn't do anything. Deshaun Watson won one playoff game with one of the best wide receivers in the league. Whatever. Browns, you're just a trash franchise. Sorry.
I do agree with most of that. However, Deshaun's team when he was in Texas, that O-line and that defense was brutal.
Yes, I know it was a sucky team.
Especially his last year there, he led the league in passing yards with like the worst team in football.
Yes, he had 4 wins. So
yeah, I do agree. I agree with a lot of that.
They're going to be better football-wise.
They did.
I think they're going to be better football-wise.
They did absolutely snag Amari Cooper from the Cowboys, though. They made a great play and we were there. Great. Gave Deshaun another weapon. But they did do Baker dirty. And to be quite frank, I don't know where Baker's going to play next year. There's speculation about Indianapolis, behind Matt Ryan. There's speculation about him maybe going, I don't even know.
I saw Detroit.
I don't wish that on my worst enemy.
I think he probably pulls a Mitch Trubisky and goes and be a backup for a year, and then everyone forgets.
Yeah, remember when they were offering him like $30 million, and he said, "No, I'm worth $40 million," and he could have had like a $30 million a year contract, but he just thought he was worth a lot more.
I think this year was tough for Baker because last year everyone's looking at him like a Super Bowl contender because of the team, and they almost beat. I mean, they should have beat the Chiefs in the playoffs in 2020. So. It's a bad situation for him, but I don't blame him for asking for a trade.
No.
I saw a lot of people in the media saying, "Why is he asking for a trade? He hasn't done anything." Well, he has done a lot for the Browns. I mean, they were an 0-16 team, and he took them to being a Super Bowl contender. He was stability. He's not the greatest quarterback, but he did give his all to that city. I don't think you can debate that, and
question.
I don't think he's in the wrong for asking for a trade.
True that.
Anyway, that's my first not for the week. Do you have another one?
Oh no, I'm good at hot or not. That's all I really had. We really have a lot. Like for me, the hot or not was I didn't put much into it this week because we just have way too much to talk about everything else. So. Let's move on now. Joseph, what should we move on to? You tell the people.
I think we should move on to a little bit of March Madness, but I do have one thing before that. Okay. And I think we both want to talk about this because we are fans of the division rivals of the Kansas City Chiefs. Mm-hmm. It is just good to see. It's just good to see the Chiefs having a little bit of a struggle. Now, they're not going to be terrible, but losing Tyreek Hill, that's tough, man.
Sure.
I mean, when everyone else in the division is getting better, Broncos got a lot better, Chargers got a lot better, Raiders got a lot better. I don't think the Chiefs got any better. What do you think? You think the Chiefs got better?
No, they did. Okay, here's the thing. They got rid of Tyreek Hill. However, people forget they got Juju Smith and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who is I know.
Wow.
But those are still weapons, though. They're still something, and they get first-round pick this year and a bunch of picks coming up. It's tough because it's the Chiefs dynasty, and honestly, to me, it's like you get rid of Tyreek Hill. I didn't understand it. It made no sense to me. I thought Tyreek Hill was more than good, honestly, way more than good enough to my mind, I don't get it. I literally don't get why you get rid of him. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I mean, he must have not wanted to be there anymore unless they. I mean, I feel like they could pay him. Like,
but what do you? Yeah, they matched the same thing. That he wasn't going to leave unless he got matched the same money, and that's what Miami did. So I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't. I put it this way: the Bills game in the playoffs last year, they do not win that game with, and this might be a hot take, any other wide receiver in the history of the NFL.
Exactly. That's the point.
You put Jerry Rice in Tyreek Hill's spot, and they lose that game because Tyreek Hill's yard after the catch ability is incredible. It's like taking Jamar Chase off the Bengals this year. It's like their entire offense runs through his ability to just zigzag across the whole field. So, I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to be okay. They're going to make a lot of TikToks.
Yeah, you can't deny that. There's no doubt about it.
The Jackson Mahomes and Juju Smith-Schuster combo
is
going to be insane. That's That's content right there.
Yeah. Jackson Mahomes, he was hyped when he saw that shit. He was like,
Tyreek Hill saw that, and he's like, I am out of here.
Heading to Miami. All right, let's hop into some March Madness. So before we get started on that, I hope that people know that I was in Mexico all week, and listen to this, I wasn't allowed to watch a single March Madness game while I was there because
terrible.
It said the app didn't work. Said only no U.S. territories. None of the TVs had it on. Nothing. I tried everything. I tried my laptop. I tried going pirate. It didn't work. No, wasn't in a U.S. territory.
Horrid.
It was brutal. I was checking updates. I was getting I was FaceTiming my best friend. My best friend held his phone up to a screen like this so I was watching him. It was bad. It was a brutal week for me. I did get to watch the games last night, thank God, but it was an overall brutal week for F-Dog. No doubt about it.
That's tough. Do you want to talk about last night's game since you did get to watch it?
Yeah, let's dive into those. First off, I would just like to say, let's go into the Arizona Gonzaga game. Chet Holmgren last night.
Arizona.
Arkansas. Gonzaga game.
Arkansas.
Boy, did Chet Holmgren get screwed. At least three of those five fouls should not have been called. At least 3 of the 5. The other 2, whatever. But 3 of the 5 the whistle should have been blown. There's nothing he can do. He's just standing straight up. If they're just gonna go and dive into his body and that's a foul, there's literally nothing the guy can do. He's just gonna be a walking foul for the rest of his life. There's nothing he can do. If he's staying straight up and they go into his body and he just stands there, I don't know. And then Arkansas, that JD Noatai guy is unbelievable on Arkansas. He is a very good guard. Arkansas is a very good team. I'm not saying they didn't deserve that game.
No, they definitely deserve to win, but like some of the calls.
No, yeah, I mean, but I saw their strategy. They took Chet Holmgren out with 2 quick fouls. They played a good game. I mean, I got to give them the respect when it's due. It was a great win on their part, so good for them. And I'm glad they made it to the Elite Eight.
That's a fun team.
It is a fun team. Very.
Arkansas is a fun team. Their coach is He
gets after
I love
it, dude.
seeing him.
He gets after it.
I mean, he looked like a kid in a candy store when they won. He's like, yes!
Oh, I know. He was hyped.
He's a cool guy. Yeah, I mean, and we can kind of transition that into just like the reffing. I know you didn't get to watch all the games, but the reffing in this first round and last night. We're recording this Friday morning, so there's going to be 3 more days of games this weekend. But man, like some of these refs, they're impacting it's not even that it's bad calls. It's just you're impacting the game too much at critical times. And I know you wanted to talk about the technical foul.
Oh my God.
On Illinois, where
that was the worst,
hung on the rim.
Worst teed up I've ever seen in my life. Worst technical foul I've ever seen in my life. Not even close. Even close.
That man's head is going into the backboard and it's coming
suicide.
Off if he does not.
The ref wanted him to commit suicide there. That's literally what he wanted to do. If he would have let go, if he would have let go when he swung, he would have flipped backwards and landed on the back of his head. He literally would have.
Oh my goodness. And I don't know that necessarily lost in the game, but I mean the momentum, they had the momentum on that dunk and then all of a sudden it goes away. It's like, what? That was against Houston.
That was the worst foul call ever. Ever.
I mean, ridiculous. But against Houston, and Houston's hot, man.
They are red hot. They played great last night, bro. They played great last night.
I mean, Arizona is a good team, but I picked Houston because Arizona didn't look like unstoppable against TCU, and Houston plays great defense.
Dude, Houston looked really good last night. Really good.
Wow. I think Houston right now is the favorite to win it all.
Like the tournament?
The whole tournament.
Wow.
Yes.
I would say Kansas.
Because
don't think so?
I don't know. I don't know, dude. we'll talk to this a little bit. I think Kansas might lose today. I think Kansas might lose to Providence.
All right. I'm gonna disagree with that because I have Kansas winning it all, and I also think Kansas is gonna win. But
you got to stick with it. Obviously.
Exactly.
But since my bracket is completely busted except for Purdue, and my title picks out, I think Houston might be the favorite because if you look at teams who have won the tournament, they have been dominant in their first 3 games. Houston has been pretty much dominant in all 3 of their first games against UAB, Illinois, and now Arizona. They get Villanova, who is a good team. I think they can beat Villanova. I think Houston right now, you would not be ridiculous to say, is the favorite. And for the sake of having a controversial take, I'm saying Houston is the favorite to win it all right now.
You know what, Joseph? I like the pick. I think it's bold, and I think it's a good take. But you know what? Houston's a good team. And with Zaga and Baylor out, with all these a lot of upsets, and you know what? To watch these games, and the way the referees are playing, and the way that like March Madness goes, having Houston going all the way and winning it is not an absurd take.
I mean, literally anything can happen. We've seen that. 3 1 seeds are out before the Elite Eight. I cannot remember a time that's happened. I mean, this might be the craziest year of March Madness we've ever seen.
So
there's a very good likelihood there's no number 1 seeds in the Final Four. I know you love Kansas, but they got to win 2 more games before that's a possibility.
There's a chance they might not. I don't know. We'll see. Oh my God, dude! What the hell am I yawning for, dude? I don't know. I need to get up and at him. All right. So people, there were a lot of questions going around about March Madness here. I want to ask you, what was your March Madness game of the week? What do you think here?
You know, it's hard not to say Duke Texas Tech last night because of how meaningful that game was, and it's fresh in my mind. If I have to go back though, for me personally, it was Creighton versus San Diego State. That game was incredible, and for Creighton fans to see, they have their best player, Kolkrenner, get hurt. His knee, I think it just got blown out. To come back and win the game in overtime, it was like San Diego State went so cold at the end. It was like a miracle that Creighton won, and I had Creighton winning in my bracket, and I was like, dude, San Diego State was up big. Creighton came back, went to overtime, and won in overtime. That was a great finish. Also, obviously, the St. Peter's Kentucky game, which was happening at the same time. That game, wow. I love the scream of the crowd when you hit a dagger 3 or a dagger dunk. Awesome.
Special.
And to see St. Peter's do that and run across the court and their coach going nuts, that was awesome too. But obviously we can talk about Duke Texas Tech last night. I mean, the storylines.
Can't get
Coach K's 100th game. Texas Tech trying to end it all. It was you got to feel bad for Texas Tech, but Duke they were the team of destiny last night.
Now, I obviously did. I was able to. One guy I was sitting next to at the pool had a Hulu, somehow got Hulu set up or something, and I watched one game, last half of the second half, and it was the Murray State San Francisco game.
Yep, that was also an amazing
electric. Game. It was an electric ending. We went down to the wire. It was a really good game. That would probably be my game of the week, but then again, I didn't even watch full game. You know, it's hard. It's hard for me to have this conversation right now. But if I had to pick a game last night, I would have to agree. Duke, Texas Tech, Coach K's 100th game. I should have put all my money on that. Right when I saw it was going to be Coach K's 100th game, win of the NCAA tournament wins, I should have grabbed all my money in my bank account and put it on the money line they were going to win because that was guaranteed going to happen.
Yeah. I had a 4-leg parlay, and all 3 other games hit because I had Arkansas, Villanova,
Brutal.
Houston, Texas Tech. Just went cold at the end. I was like, no.
Yeah, it was always
I love the Red Raiders team, but Duke you can't. It's Coach K, man. And if they win it all, it's just team of destiny.
It was meant to be. It really was meant to be with Coach K, wasn't it?
Now, we can also talk about Michigan.
Yeah.
They played terrible.
No kidding.
The amount of open layups, easy shots that they missed, and still only lost by 5, or I think it was 6. If I'm Juwan Howard, I'm like, man, I should have started punching people earlier.
Yeah, I don't know.
He should have started punching his players, man.
Dude.
I mean, Hunter Dickinson missed some tough layups and then free throws. But Villanova was just a better team in that, March Madness, we talked about it. Anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw a narrative that people were saying Michigan showed that they weren't supposed to be in the tournament at all.
Yeah.
That's completely ridiculous in my mind.
People are chanting NIT. NIT.
What are we doing? Illinois, like, you got blown out in the first round, and you're saying Michigan's not supposed to be there? I mean, I think getting to the Sweet 16 proves that you were supposed to be in the tournament.
I couldn't agree
Texas
more.
A&M didn't make it. I don't know that Texas A&M makes a Sweet 16. I mean, they couldn't beat Tennessee, and Michigan beat Tennessee. So
Michigan.
to say that a team doesn't make the tournament or shouldn't make the tournament and then makes the Sweet 16 and sticking with the original,
Doesn't
like
make any
they weren't
sense.
supposed to be here, come on, what are we doing? I mean, that's like saying, oh yeah, Houston shouldn't have been a 5 seed. They should have been a 10 seed. Well, no, they should have been a higher seed because they're in the Elite 8 now. Like, your success in the tournament's what matters. March Madness is the tournament that matters. Everything that matters. We forget about the regular season. No one cares about your regular season division titles. It's what you do in the tournament. So, yeah.
That is a beautiful point. And I remember Hunter Dickinson calling everyone out in that press conference. He basically just said, basically gave the middle finger to all the teams. He's like, all right, I'm going to that league next year. I don't care. Am I supposed to give everyone the middle finger? It's my last game. I don't care. And just called out all those teams. I love it. I think it's a great move. I think he made the right play there. He should have done that. Yeah, and you know what? Here's the deal. It's hard. These are the big games coming up here. All right, the Sweet 16s, the March Madness. I mean, this is a huge game. These are the games that people are really going to be zoned in on now. And if you guys haven't noticed, if you're not following our Instagram, we keep our picks up on our Instagram stories. We will be putting them out today. There will be our picks. We've been hot. I'm not gonna lie to you, Joseph. We've been good. We
started really bad when we first started, and I think
we've been hitting and
12 of 14.
We've been hitting, and March Madness has been doing us really well. So I think that we need to keep riding with that. I think we need to keep going. Why not us, Joseph? Huh? Why not us?
Why not us?
Let's
make some cash.
Yeah, I mean, so for March Madness, for me, I mean, that's basically all I have to talk about. You know, we covered the games. I would say one thing I'm going to say is I got Kansas winning, and I really believe Kansas is going to win this all. I think they have the team to do it. I think they have the coach to do it, and I think they have the experience to do it. So I'm going to put Kansas as my winners, and I'm going to keep it there I guess we'll see.
I mean, you got to stick with it.
We have to. I'm sticking with it. I'm not leaving.
Very few people have their champion still in, so you got to stick with it.
You got to keep riding. Have to keep it riding.
Good on you. All right, you got any other things before we get into our top 3?
No, but I think we should talk a little NFL.
Yeah. It's been a while. Like, a lot has happened, and you forget old news. Devontae Adams. That was after our last episode. So.
But I got a special somebody I want to talk about.
Oh, you do.
So, I found a source on Twitter the other day, a verified source.
And you say it's reliable.
It's reliable. I looked through his tweets. Okay. It's verified. That I couldn't even believe it when I read the text. When I saw this, I was gonna rant on the Instagram, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna save it for the pod. Save it for that. So the source had said that Tom Brady had told a very close source in his camp that one of the main reasons he's coming back is because he felt that his family life was boring, was the word that he used.
Yikes.
So a few things come to mind. One, you didn't think that being an average man taking care of your family was more boring than winning Super Bowls? You didn't think that before you retired? You thought that going to eat avocado toast and sit by your pool every morning wouldn't be more boring than playing in the NFL? You didn't, like, you really didn't think that? And to be honest, the fact that you say that about your family, if that doesn't validate what I said last week about him not being a family man.
We did talk about this. He hates his family, confirmed.
That is unbelievable. And you know what? I hope his kids, I hope his wife knows that he said that. I hope every one of his kids goes to bed every single night and know how boring they are. I hope his dogs, I hope his house, I hope everything about him, they know how boring they are and how cool Tom Brady is and how he's 142 years
cool,
old
man.
and he can go play football because he eats avocado toast and eats all this healthy bull crap all the time. And you know what?
He takes his vitamins.
Yeah, well, you know what? Your wife's the breadwinner,
morning.
Tom. That's what you don't tell people. She's the billionaire in the family, and you're not even the breadwinner in your house. Are you sure you're even the man of your house, Tom? Are you sure? We don't know. I'm not going to go any more into it because you know what? It's a nice Friday morning, and I don't want to boil my blood here. So, yeah, a lot. This is probably the craziest NFL offseason. Not even close. Not even close. I mean, look.
Wow.
And by the way,
And we thought it was over last week.
and by the way,
And it just continues.
the NFC is a joke now. The NFC is a joke. I don't care who you are, if your team's in there, who you cheer for. If you're in the NFC, you can maybe get a cookie if you make it to the playoffs, maybe. But no one cares, bro. Like, dude, if you don't make it to the playoffs, your franchise should either be sold or literally like dismantled because that is it's brutal. That is brutal. It's the NFC. Like it's going to be the easiest thing ever in the world. That it's going to suck. It's going to be horrible.
You're not riding with the Marcus Mariota Falcons and the Jameis Winston Saints.
Like, do you not hear yourself?
Who knows
like,
Panthers?
there's no chance. They have no one. There's no.
Oh yeah, if you're a, I mean, that's probably why Tom Brady came back.
Yeah, because he's
bro.
like, oh,
'Cause he's like, I have a free Super Bowl.
He literally
appearance.
saw all the teams leaving. He's like, what? Like, this is a Super Bowl appearance, easiest thing I've ever done in my life.
Now your favorite man, Aaron Rodgers, is thrown to Alan Lazard and
Yeah, he's gotten
no one else.
Fran, all I gotta
yikes.
say is you got what coming to you. You re-signed. You wanted all your money. Your best buddy just gave you the middle finger and left, bud. Good luck, homie. Good luck. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, that was awesome, dude. And I mean, we've been predicting some stuff.
We
That's
have
what Tom
been.
Brady's now.
I did
Family
say.
man.
I
We
said
got
that he was going to the Raiders.
Devontae
I've
Adams.
said that. How many episodes
Devontae
ago
Adams
was that?
I think that was our first episode.
I said he's going to go back to his buddy Derek Carr and the Raiders.
And we were like, oh, he re-signed. He signed the tag. Oh, they tagged him. We got that wrong. Darn it. And then all of a sudden, Devontae Adams to the Raiders. Wow.
Why not us?
Wow.
Why not us?
Why not
Joseph?
us? Yeah, I think. Did you see the Broncos stadium caught on fire yesterday?
I did see that. I don't even know how.
I saw the Russ can cook memes. I thought those were
Yeah,
hilarious.
man, Russ must be already burning. I don't even.
He's already burned
He's
it
already
up.
ripping it apart. I don't know. Yeah, and then the Tyreek Hill obviously traded down. I mean, and then the amount of signings that happened and the amount of things that went. I mean, it was. This is the craziest NFL offseason, not even close.
Yeah.
So one of my good buddies brought up a very good point to me about how the Browns were able to get a 6th-round pick for Amari Cooper, but yet the Miami Dolphins basically had to give up all their franchise picks for Tyreek. Now, obviously Amari Cooper and Tyreek Hill are nowhere near the same level, but that's still, I mean, that is a steal on the Browns' part. That's from Brandon Davis, by the way, my boy Brandon, shout out. But that is think about that. That on the Browns' part, I'm not saying Amari Cooper's not like an but that's a good wide receiver. He's a great wide receiver. And to get him for a 6th-round pick versus what the Miami Dolphins got for Tyreek, I don't know. Maybe with something to look at.
Yeah. I just think Tyreek Hill is that good, to be honest. I mean, watching him burn my team for this many years, I'm just so glad to see him out of the division.
And now I'm
just not scared of Juju the same way.
And I think Miami's on watch.
Okay, here I want to know what you think. If Miami is not what they get rid of Tua, like how good do they have to be like, oh yeah, Tua's not the guy? Because they have the roster. Personally, I think they need to at least win the divisional round because they have the weapons, dude.
For Tua not to be a...
Actually, I won't say that because the AFC is good. I think they need to at least win one playoff game.
Oh, my God. I would say winning the division. Or, no, second in division. Behind the Bills.
That's
why I think the Bills are going to win that
just amazing.
division. And then I think...
They have
You
to
know
make the
what,
playoffs,
dude?
100%.
No, I think Miami's gonna win it. I think Tyreek Hill rips apart the Bills.
Wow.
I think the Miami's gonna win it, dude. They beat But think about it. Miami started with the worst start in all of football last year, but they also had the best finish, they had the worst first half of the season, but then they had the best second half of the season out of all the NFL.
They do have a new coach though, so I know, but he's still improving. I like him. I think
that
he's
team
good. I think
is
he's a good
just.
guy.
I know, but the Bills, who's their worst guy that they do terrible against? Tyreek Hill, and now that he's in their division, they have to play him twice a year. I don't know.
I just don't know if Tua is going to be able to do
That's always been my thing. Whenever I heard, I was like, but Tua, though, I don't know. I don't know. I would say, yeah, if they should probably at least make the playoffs and probably get a win. Probably get a win in the playoffs, and then he's.
I think they need to win one.
Anything past that, it's like impressive. You know what I mean?
Or at least be competitive in the wild card round, because if they don't make the playoffs,
it's tough. They're in the AFC. The AFC is loaded, dude.
It is. But still, I mean, that's Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I mean, you put that with any other quarterback in the AFC right now, and it's like that's a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Team. That's a Super Bowl offense.
That's ridiculous.
Explosive.
Oh my God, that is ridiculous. I can't even. That speed and everything is just, it's unheard of. It's unheard.
You saw what he said to the Jets.
Yeah, he's like,
the Jets took another L.
He was like, "You going to the Jets?" He's like,
he's like, who?
Nah,
who are the Jets?
Nah. He was never going there. Miami or New York?
Maybe the Jets. The Jets should. I think the Jets should go to the NFC. That's what they should do. That might be a smart
decision. They should go to like the XFL. I don't know.
There you go, dude.
I don't know, dude. I'm done with them. All right, let's move into the top three out of the NFL talk. So this top three was suggested by a very sick individual. Someone to be quite frank, this person could have said anything, and I knew I was gonna pick him right away. This guy, he's a sick man. This is a sick man. All over the board. He's one of a kind. This is coming from Brendan Burgraff's camp. Bergie. All right. Yeah. I was picking it no matter what. This is one sick man.
We got a lot of good ideas though. The people let us know. We got some good ones for the following.
Definitely hide your kids. He's a pretty unbelievable man. So the top three is top three coaches of all time. Joseph, I'm gonna let you start us off.
All right. My top three is, first I'm going Bill Belichick. Regardless of whether you think Tom Brady is the reason for all those rings, it's undoubted that Tom Brady had a great defense thanks to Bill Belichick. I'm going Bill Belichick. Number two, I'm going Phil Jackson. 11 rings in the NBA. That is hard to do. Yes, he had the greatest players of all time on those teams. Still hard to win rings. So he has 11 rings. And third, I went back and forth here. Two college coaches. I think given the time of year, I'm going to go Coach K. Mike Krzyzewski. I think that's how I think I did it. I think I nailed it there. He's got 5 championships. And March Madness, we have seen it is hard to win championships. 40-something years coming to an end. 100 March Madness wins. I'm going my Coach K. I got Bill Belichick, Phil Jackson, Mike Krzyzewski.
That's a great list, Joseph. For my list, I will also be starting off at number 3 with Bill Belichick. I think you can't go wrong with the guy. He started a real culture at the Patriots. You know, whether you say it was Tom Brady or whatever, you know what? In my opinion, Brady's nothing without Belichick. Belichick's nothing without Brady. They need each other. It was a great duo. I think for Bill to still even make the playoffs, even with Mac Jones as quarterback, or even the year before that, the way his team didn't make it to the playoffs, but still, he's one of the best quarterback coaches of all time, no doubt about it. At my number 2, I'm going Greg Popovich. For all the NBA fans out there, he has the most regular season wins of all time. Pop, you can't go wrong with Pop. You know what I mean? The dynasty he created with the Spurs, having, you know, I mean, the guy is an NBA legend. I mean, if you know NBA basketball and you know the greatest coach of all time, the first one that pops in your mind is Pop, always. Yep. He's a stud. He is basketball. I love Pop. He's definitely my number 2. And for my number 1 coach, I'm actually going Phil Jackson. Okay. And let me tell you why. I'm assuming you watch a Jordan documentary, Joseph.
I did not watch all of it. I need to finish that. But yes, I know how amazing he is.
He's special, man. He really is a special, man. Now, he
didn't have the greatest basketball player on his team, though, right?
Joseph, we're
another day.
Yeah. Joseph, here we go. No, Phil Jackson, what he had to deal with and what he got through. Not only that, getting screwed by his GM. If you watch the documentary, just got screwed over by the Bulls organization. And he is one of the greatest coaches. He is, in my opinion, the greatest basketball coach of all time. His philosophy, his way he connected with his players, his ability to connect, to be with his players and to get players to play together and want to play for him. It's special. Phil Jackson, my number one. That is my top 3 this week.
No Nick Saban.
No. And
I was
I'm going to say,
Nick Saban,
and by the way, for all the people out there, Nick Saban, Coach K, 2 biggest frauds in all of college basketball, all of sports history. 2 biggest coaches fraud.
Wow.
You could throw me in their spot. If I had every single position at 5 stars, my team would be loaded too. Wouldn't matter who I am, what I do. If every single position I had was a 4 or 5 star, you know how freaking good my team was? It didn't even matter. You could throw my little sister in there at the coach, dude. Guess what? You're still going to be freaking good. You know why? Because your players are unbelievable. You're going against goddamn players who don't get 5 stars.
But how did you... You know why they got those 5 stars? Because how good the coaches are.
Yeah.
Nick Saban leaves Alabama. They're not getting the same amount of 5 stars. And Bear Bryant, too. I mean, Bear Bryant, Nick Saban, 12 national championships combined at Alabama.
You're putting it.
I didn't go Nick Saban because I know a lot of people hate Nick Saban.
Nick Saban, dude.
I did go Coach K because he deserves his...
Coach K, okay.
He deserves his round of applause
that one
as he
maybe I
walks out.
slipped upon a little bit. I can see, but still, whatever. I'm not going to get into
To
it.
do anything for 45 years is like, I think it's 46 now.
I mean, I guess you got to be pretty good at it.
Yeah. All right. Mine was Bill Belichick, Phil Jackson, Mike Krzyzewski. Yours is?
Bill Belichick, freaking Greg Popovich, and Phil Jackson.
All right. So the people are going to have to choose if they like Mike Krzyzewski or Greg Popovich more, or just the order.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
I think that's all we got.
Yeah, its series is tied 2-2 in the top 3 series here.
Series is tied 2-2.
3 more. We just need to get 3 more. First person to 5. I already have my TikTok dance picked out. I found one the other day. I liked it, so I made sure I saved it. It'll be a good one, Joseph. But people, thank you all for listening again. This was a great day. Thank you, Tyler, for coming on again. First collegiate and pro athlete to come on. So for the people, just keep following the TikTok, keep following the Instagram, keep spreading the content, spreading the love. We appreciate all you guys tuning in week by week. And yeah, thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you guys.
That's all. Peace.